Just gonna focus on the outlines. Hey, what's up, Tapella? Hey, what up? Noise. What up, Skeetus? Thank you, dude. If you stick around after I finish outlining all these different elements in this picture, I'll show you some of the past cover arts I was working on for my series Demonation. Color and pencil and ink. Hey, what up, Art? How you doing, bro? Thank you, dude. We're gonna do the outline, and then we're gonna look at some of the work from past covers, and we'll see what else we can do. I'm all right. I'm fasting for Ramadan, so it's a little hard to get things done, but I want to. I couldn't help it. I gotta produce something. I gotta make some progress. But yeah, I'm pretty hungry all the time now. One more week and it's over. So you make me want to cry with how good this art is. Thank you, Mizuki. Appreciate that. Don't cry. Hopefully, tears of joy. So this is actually from my series Demonation that I'm pitching to Shonen Jump. It's a story that's sort of like Men in Black, except instead of aliens, you have fairy tales pretending to be human and blending into society, while the imminent awakening and disclosure of what's happening is looming in the background. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I like to break things down as simple as I can. So right now you're seeing me outline and I'm thinking about the thickness of the characters and the different picture elements to make sure that the outline is thicker than the inlines, right? The detailing that's going to have to happen later. And that way we have we're not making it so flat. When you're doing the outline, I should also say that you don't want to be one thickness. You want to try to feel out how it's moving and where you could imply dimensionality. You do thick and thin and play with it, you know? So, but if you think about it, outlining is 50% of the job, right? If you do the outline, you're 50% done with your piece. And it's a lot easier than doing all this detail. And it'll also help you eliminate unnecessary details because you can already see what you've captured in the outline, and you could kind of say, well, I don't really need to ink these extra little details right here or whatever, right? Because it kind of gets the point across. So it's a way I use to kind of eliminate unnecessary extra fluff that's in the piece. Got some, looks like some ink chunks over here. Your sketching and inking process is incredible. You're going to be famous manga. God willing, brother. Thank you. True, I used to be afraid of inking back when I was doing. Oh, dude, I'm still afraid of inking. I'm actually shaking in my boots right now. No, I'm just joking, bro. It's just how you think about it, bro. It's just how you think about it. If you think it's something that's permanent rather than another stage, you know what I'm saying? That you could kind of express with. You think too much, oh, it's permanent, it's permanent. I got to make sure it's right. Then you're going to get in your own way. So the best thing to do is to make it low stakes by doing the outline and making sure it's dimensional and then going in there and doing some detailing. Thank you, Plasma. Appreciate you, dude. By the way, on TikTok, do you guys like the audio? The microphone I'm using? Let me know. Is it too loud? I'm trying out some new equipment, and it would really help increase the quality of life for my streams for you guys. Dope. Thank you, bro. So I can't tell you too much about this cover piece because I don't want to spoil the story. A lot of the stuff you see on here is stuff that happens in the third arc of Demonation, the Helena Siren arc. And what that arc essentially boils down to is you got these fairy tale terrorists in the story world called Shabazz, and they've threatened this character named Helena Siren, with her life because she's become a symbol of human and fairy tale unity without even trying to be. And they hate that. And so the main characters have to essentially be her bodyguard for her concert at Empire Falls Stadium. And, well, let's just say a lot of things fall. And to the point of no return on that stage. So I can't say more than that, but that's the core of what we're going to be playing with in that arc. Sure. Thank you, brother. Yeah, this has been in the works for a minute. Feel free, guys, if you guys are working on your own manga, comic, or just project in general. You want some feedback about your idea or a scene, feel free to share. I'm here to help. Try to share what I've learned in my experience pursuing this big, big goal of mine. Do you have any advice for people who are starting to make a manga? Yes, I need you to live in your story world. You got to learn that a lot of what manga or storytelling is questions. And the more questions you ask about the story world you're creating, naturally you'll have characters that fit right into that story world, like as if they were born and made for it, right? Naturally, they'll start arising. And to really understand that what you're dealing with here isn't just entertainment, you're tapping into your unconscious. And when you go to sleep and you have your dreams, well, that dream material, that's what you're tapping into when you're being a visual storyteller. And so really embrace that, understand that what's coming out of you is not going to be found anywhere else in the world. So really appreciate that unique, subjective, visual storytelling that you're imagining. You need to be curious, and so ask questions about the story world you're creating, and see what comes out. You'll be really surprised when you find something interesting, and you keep pulling at that thread. You end up with a huge mountain of interesting things to climb and discover. And try to write about things you're actually interested in. Don't create a story about baseball if you hate baseball, right? Don't obvious. That should be obvious. But some people, they create things just to please others, and that's probably the worst thing you could do for your spirit. You want to try as much as possible to satisfy this urge to create, right? That's coming from deep, deep within you. No problem, wolves. Another thing is, I would say, try to break it down into one sentence when you feel you can. So I'll give you an example. The story I'm working on is an epic dystopian fairy tale, and it's a shonen, and it's a story about these cloud agents in black who have to keep humanity asleep to the truly magical world that they live in. And so you get a little taste of the theme in the log line. It's summarizing your sentence to one. I mean, summarizing your story into one sentence. You get a little taste of the theme and the genre and sort of the mystique of it, right? That's kind of what you want to have. Once you figure that out, it'll help you guide your story a lot. And pick, I would say, in my case, my story is like Men in Black, but with fairy tales, right? Instead of aliens. And that way it's easy to relate the idea to you. It's like, oh, I know what Men in Black is. I know what fairy tales are. Okay, I understand this story idea. Okay. And then you invite them in to become, because it's familiar, they feel comfortable, they'll be able to understand and kind of imagine with you, and that's where you explain it, right? But don't over explain. Don't over explain. That's the worst thing you can do. It turns into a lecture. Thanks, Wolves. Appreciate you, bro. You're phenomenal too, bro. You're learning quick. I see your works, and I know you're studying a lot. I would recommend, if you want to learn um, sort of like storyboarding and things like that, I'd recommend you look into this book called Framed Ink. It'll teach you so much about different shots you can use and all that. But with everything you learn, it's important to know that you have your own way and you have your own contribution that you have yet to discover, right? So learn what you can, pick up things that are useful, and I hate this word, mimic the people you like, but don't get lost in that, right? You always want to be trying to get familiar with your own self, your own style, your own imagination, and trying to see what you can share to the conversation with this huge worldwide phenomenon of art, right? We're all creating, no matter where you go, right? Universally, when people smile, that means they're happy, and universally, you'll see no matter where you go, there's art in the walls, in the pages, on people's skin. There's art everywhere. So you're a part of this legacy. And embrace that and understand that you have been chosen by a greater force to be curious about this. And so follow it all the way through and don't be shy to go beyond learning. Learning is important, but like I said, discovering is the next stage. Feelings mutual, brother. God bless you too, Wolves. God, quick. Yeah, and then there's like ink chunks stuck on. So I'm kind of making these withery lines, these jaggedy, withery lines, instead of just a clean straight line, because I'm trying to imply the texture of what looks like a cloak mixed with like a blazer. So it's like a reaper cloak looking thing. And so you want to play with your mark making as well. You want to be aware of how, when you hit the paper with the nib or the pen or the pencil, what kind of mark you're making. Is it at an angle? What does it imply? This thing is giving me a hard time, so I'm gonna open up some fresh nibs right here. Oh. Yeah, it's all the little things that add up. The texture is a part of detailing. So when it comes to the outline, you do have a little bit of that, right? Like in this case, this cloth fabric. I can't open this. So yeah, you can show some of that texture, but in the outline phase, I'm not trying to be overly detailed, right? I want to get that 50% completion percentage of the piece by just getting these outlines in, making sure looking nice and dimensional. And then it makes the rest of the way a lot easier. A lot of this, like I said, is I don't know if you've ever played like an RPG game where they have MP and HP. Well, if sports uses up your HP, then art uses up your MP, right? Your mental power, your magic power. I don't know what you want to call it. And so you kind of have to be aware of your stamina mentally and try to find ways to make the load lighter. Otherwise, you start rushing things and shortcutting things, and you end up with, a piece you're not so enthusiastic about. Oh yeah, dude, those are sick. Final Fantasy Chrono Trigger. Right now, I'm replaying Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 10 and 12, the one with Vaughn and Bartholomew and try to play a little bit of all those things. As much as you create, you want to consume. So I actually have like a routine where every day I'll watch like nostalgic cartoons, nostalgic anime, stuff that really influenced me and inspired me. Video games, especially JRPGs, like the ones I mentioned. And I'll try as much as to spend a little bit of time consuming that, a scene of it, play a little bit of it, just to kind of keep in touch with that flavor, right? It's all those things create your taste and your interest, and they help expand it. Because, like I said, we're using a lot of mental power, and when you think like the whole world is on your shoulder because you got to do so much, you can burn out and fizzle out really easily. So it's really important that you consume as much as you create. Just, you got to make sure you're creating, of course. stylize 7 as the cover art number. And I'm going to make it extra thick just to differentiate between the characters that and the picture elements. So you want your logos and any text related things to be clear and bold enough to like stand out at the very front of the picture plane opposed to these other picture elements that make up the cover. And the way to do that is thick lines. Oh, always best to ink from left to right. I just kind of got carried away. And the reason being is because you'll end up smudging. You'll end up like accidentally touching the ink. Try to avoid these little ball-ended points unless you're intending to do that. You see how I'd rather change the form than have it stuck like that. You want to end sharp your lines. Keep them nice and crisp. Okay, so it's probably hard to see, but you see this little point? I ended up connecting the two and they blended in. So it's important to be aware of something called tangents. Tangents are when two lines blend in and you can't differentiate between them. So that is the closest thing I would consider as a mistake, right? But we use that word very lightly because we can always play with mistakes and turn them into something really amazing. In this case, that isn't what I wanted to do. Actually change it up a little bit. Tangents, yep, line tangents. Ah, interesting. Now I've always wanted to know manga's art process. Yeah, they're all different. I would recommend you check out Manben, Manben. It's a docu series that shows you a lot of famous mangakas' process. Uh, for example, the guy that did Monster. I think he's the host of that show actually. The guy that did that one series. I think it's called Punny Punny or something, or Puri Puri. I forgot what it was called. Okay, let's go back to this. Looks like we bit into the paper, caught a little bit of that, made it almost like a little brush, and that's not good. There's a sharp point that way. Yeah, dude, honestly, from that show, I got so many good tools I picked up. This is one of them. Presto Whiteout. The best whiteout, brilliant white, amazing for highlights. It's just amazing. And it dries super fast. The only thing is it stinks. Let's get away from this area because I don't want to end up smudging. Let's go. Let's just work this way. Down. Actually, over here. We'll go this way. rough. Finding the page. Hey, what up, Elzawatts? How you doing, bro? Yeah, it's Ramadan, so it's really hard for me to produce much. Most of the time, like just hungry. So, but I'm gonna try to do my best. There's only a few more days left, and I kind of got used to it by now. Oh yeah, I think I have. If I've interacted with your image on the Discord, then I have. Yeah, man, it's coming together. You've been doing your manga in that style, the kind of Roblox style looking. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Nice. I'll check it out. gonna make things a little easier for ourselves. And we're just gonna focus on the outermost part of the outlines. We won't be doing all this aura that's around these characters. That can be done later. We want to get just the main parts of it down. Here. You're in chapter 2 of your manga? That's dope. Are these the final pages of version of it or the prototype? Where you're kind of still developing it? Nice. Now, is this the one about the robber? Or am I mixing that up? Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, so look, okay, we're almost done with the outlines. 50%, almost complete. Basically, in the first chapter, he kind of finds a place to where to hide. Okay, as long as you establish the situation, it'll read clearly. And the second one of his friends comes in and they get into a friendly fight. Oh, okay. So the second one has, I'm assuming, more action, huh? It could be a lot of different things. Like, look at One Piece. It's action, comedy, adventure. What's important is that you are excited by what you're making and that you are passionate about it, that you like to do it, and that you're not trying to please a bunch of people you've never met. That you're trying to satisfy something that you think is cool, awesome, something that resonates with you. I have to put some white out there to differentiate between the two because it created a little tangent, which is when two lines meet each other and blend in. We'll deal with that stuff later. Looks like TikTok randomly ended. Sorry about that, everybody. TikTok stream ended on its own. What can I say? I don't know what the hell this is. What up, guys? Sorry about that. The TikTok stream ended on its own. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. So we're just doing the outlines. Sorry about Zawats. Yeah, the TikTok stream just ended on its own, man. Sorry. Sucks, man. It does that a lot. Nice. What's up, Fire Apple? How you doing? I don't want to do the inlines, we're just doing outlines. Thanks, Fire Apple. Thank you so far. Alright, I think we did the outlines for all the characters. The next time we go live for this piece, we'll be doing all the inlines, all that detail, locking it in. But yeah, believe it or not, 50% of this inked piece is done, all because we focused on the outlining of all the different picture elements and it's going to be a lot easier when I come back to do the detailing and everything. It's going to be a lot less heavy, right? Because there's a lot of details. So we're almost there. And in the next stream, I'll catch you guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And yo, what's up, Elzawatts? I've finished another page like right now. Very dope. Hey, keep the momentum going, bro. It's awesome. Alrighty, guys, I'm out of here. The next stream, we're gonna go ahead and do all that detail inside the outlines. Have a good one.